LBC radio host Iain Dale has left his day job to run for Parliament. He'll be standing as the Conservative candidate in Tunbridge Wells. Now, you can't really imagine a safer Tory seat. Tunbridge Wells is one of the wealthiest constituencies in the country and has had a Tory MP since 1974. But perhaps Iain Dale has done the impossible and made it a little less safe after this audio from 2022 emerged.
I've lived in Tunbridge Wells since 1997, slightly against my will, in that my partner comes from Tunbridge Wells and can't really imagine living anywhere else. I've never liked the place, still don't, and would happily live somewhere else.
I kind of identify with that because I'm always mouthing off about different places in this country. Podcasting is a dangerous game. The audio is from Dale's political podcast For the Many, which he hosts with former Labour MP Jackie Smith. A moment that Dale is also famous for is this from a 2013 Sky News report.
You may recall these images from the Labour Party conference in Brighton on Tuesday.
Sorry, I think if
there you can see a protester being slightly wrestled by the blogger Iain Dale. Well, he's the publisher of course, Damien McBride, the former Spin Doctor's book. He has received a police caution after admitting common assault over this scuffle with the protester during, as you can see, this live television interview in Brighton. Mr. Dale has released a pretty fulsome apology. He says he wants to issue this public apology for his behaviour. He wants to apologise and say sorry to Stuart Holmes. This was, of course, the campaigner that he was trying to wrestle to the ground. He also wants to apologise for the blog post he wrote after the incident. He says it was full of absurd bravado, and in the heat of the moment, he behaved in a frankly idiotic way. He says he's embarrassed not only himself, but his family and his work colleagues, and he apologises to them also. He also apologises to the Labour leader Ed Miliband and says that he did apologise personally to Mr Holmes on Tuesday afternoon. And he says that he agreed to let the matter rest.
Never really seen how long that goes on for. I mean, look, that's definitely assault and he accepted a caution, but there's also something about that particular kind of grappling scuffle, which to me seems incredibly English and a bit thick of it. Moya, there's a bit of me, as I said, that can identify with speaking a bit too frankly. Iain Dale, is he all of us?
At least he lives in Tunbridge Wells. At least he lives there. I don't want, you put me in a position where I feel a bit like I have to slightly defend Iain Dale, which is one of the worst and most uncomfortable positions I've ever been in. One thing I'll say is, he lives in Tunbridge Wells. He doesn't like Tunbridge Wells. That's fine. A lot of people who live there might not like the place they live because the problem is, what is the solutions for that? So if you live somewhere and you don't like what's happened to the place, you don't like the infrastructure that's been taken away from you, you don't like how it's been neglected and, underfunded, and you have robust solutions for that, and you have ideas about how to rebuild, community, and, well, I'm going to campaign on your behalf so that you have affordable housing built. I'm going to campaign so that we have more community centres built. I'm going to campaign so that we actually get, the trains stop here more often. That is the mark of a good politician, right? But if he's campaigning, saying, I don't like Tunbridge Wells and it's, X group that makes it bad, or this is the reason we need to cut taxes more, or we need to let Amazon build something. I don't know his policy platform is hyper-local policy platform. Then that's a different matter, because I don't think it's a crime to not like where you live. I think a lot of people are dissatisfied with where they live because of what's happened over the last 14 years, especially in localities that are outside like the big urban areas, what's happened to these places. But the solutions and the analysis of why that has happened and why the place you live might not feel as comfortable or or like it's been neglected. The solutions to that is what differentiates political ideology. So I'd have to see what Iain Dale's saying. And as for the fight, it's a scuffle. I mean, he's attacking a protester, and I completely disagree with what he's doing, or why he's attacking a protester. I'm aligned with the protester, but it's a fight that happened over 10 years ago now. And I don't know if he fully apologised for it, received a caution, if the protester was compensated. I don't think on the scale of the bad things that Tory candidates have done, it actually ranks as highly or something that I would take notice of. But my main point is this, Iain Dale doesn't like the place he lives, but what's his analysis of why, and what's the solution, and how will that benefit the people he wants to represent?
Well, I don't know. I slag off places all the time. And I think maybe there's an element of you criticize places the way you criticize your family. So it's fine when you criticize your own family or you criticize the place where you live. But if someone else joins in, you're like, fuck you, stop agreeing with me so hard.